Hey guys, once again, thank you so much for stopping by, checking out another Grooming by Rudy video. Guys, in this video, we're going to be demonstrating some practice techniques that you could do at home using a pair of scissors. We realize that right now you guys are forced to groom your own dogs at home, so we're going to go over some tips, some safety tips, how to properly hold your scissors, and maybe get some scissoring done on your dogs at home before all of this ends, because we know how important it is right now to maintain your dogs at home. We want to give a special shout out to our really good friend Amy from Go Groomer. She makes an incredible point of saying just that, how important it is for you guys to maintain your dogs at home, because when the floodgates finally open, guys, it's not going to be like we can do 50 million dogs at a time. It's going to be a slow moving process. So again, she makes a great point of how important it is to try to stay on top of your dog at home, so that when the floodgates do open up, the groomers have an easier time grooming your dogs. We really want to thank you, Amy, so much for your very special and kind comment. Amy commented to us that when the floodgates finally do open up, that she wanted to come to our shop and help us groom dogs. I've never heard a more beautiful comment from a fellow groomer, so thank you so much, guys. And we're going to leave Amy's channel link down below, so check out her videos. You'll learn just as much from her as you guys are learning from us. With that said, thank you so much to Amy. Okay guys, so we're gonna jump right into this video, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna zoom into my hands so you can really see exactly what I'm talking about and how to properly hold your scissors. So we're gonna get a close-up shot of my hands, because it's important that you see exactly how I'm holding the scissors and what I'm demonstrating. Okay guys, so this is your typical grooming scissor. Again, we realize that you guys may not have this tool on hand, but if you do have this, this video is going to make a little bit more sense to you. If you have anything similar to this, as long as it's a somewhat of a grooming shear, even if it's used on humans, a human shear would probably suffice too in this tough time that we're having. But right off the bat, guys, most people make the mistake of not holding these scissors correctly, and there's just only one way to hold a scissor like this. Anything other than what I'm going to show you would be wrong. So what you want to do is you want to take your ring finger and place it in here, in this hole right here, and now your thumb is going to go into the thumb part of it. Okay, so your index finger and middle finger are kind of wrapping around this part of the scissor, and that little pinky finger is right on the pinky rest. So this is exactly how we're holding the shear. Okay, anything other than this would be wrong. So if I see a lot of people doing this, okay, that would be incorrect, because now this pinky is just floating around and you're not going to have proper balance. Your hand is going to shake a lot as you go to move the scissor, as opposed to having full control and having these two fingers right here to really wrap around that one blade there. Now you're going to have much more control, and your scissoring is going to be more precise and a lot safer. So as you see me scissor like this, groomers are, we do this every day, so we're very good at handling scissors, and I'm doing it quickly, right? But the one thing that you may not notice while I'm doing this is that I'm only moving one blade. Notice the top of my hand is very still. I'm going to show you that by just kind of holding my index finger here, and this is actually what's happening. Okay, so that bottom blade is still all the time, because that's going to act as your guide, okay? And you're really only moving your thumb, okay? So this is going to give you a much more precise and safe cut, okay? So with that being said, though, what we also have to keep in mind is our wrist, okay? So our wrist has a big part in what we do as far as scissoring, okay? Because you have to have flexibility. This is what's going to determine where you cut and how you cut. Okay, so if you're doing this, we're moving our wrist around. Notice my wrist here, and if I'm coming up under here, I'm doing this and moving my wrist. So again, that's going to be a big factor when grooming. So if you have a very stiff wrist, you got to loosen that wrist up. This takes a lot of practice. This is where I'm out of practice right now, and most groomers are out of practice right now. We're kind of scared when the floodgates do open up. We have to jump right back into all this stuff, guys. And when you don't do it for a long time, your wrist tightens up, your thumb tightens up, and your hand-eye coordination kind of suffers too. So again, this is a big practice thing. Just like a baseball player who doesn't have a game, they toss their ball into the glove just to stay loose, and you go out and you play catch just to keep your arm loose. This is no different, guys. This is very, very hands-on, very physical. So okay, so I'm going to introduce an item here that will help you possibly create a little bit of a guidance for you. So I'm kind of just using a can here. You can use anything at home, but what I want you to do is I want you to scissor, keeping in mind we're moving that one blade, right? We're not moving two blades, we're moving the one blade, and we're just using our thumb. So you keep that in mind. And I want you to just kind of scissor up and around the can, up and around the can, and just keep the scissors moving. So what this is going to do is this is going to establish scissoring and moving at the same time, because that's what dog grooming is. We're scissoring and we're moving our hand. We're not just scissoring one spot. So by doing that around the can, and try to come as close to the can as you can. Just follow that. If you hit it, that's okay. But as long as you're scissoring and moving up and down that can like that, you'll be surprised at how good you get at using your scissors. Another thing we can do is we can use the bottom of the can here and just kind of scissor around it like this. Create a scenario where you're just kind of envisioning a dog's foot, you see, and you're coming around the dog's foot, and this is how we round feet. And you would come from the other side and just kind of round feet like that. And again, we're just using our hand, we're using our wrist. Notice I'm not just using the scissors, I'm moving. You have to move your hand along with it. And again, just continuing to, you only move the one blade. Okay, and it's hard to do. It's not easy. It's something that you develop very slowly. It's not something that you're going to be great at overnight, and it's going to hurt too in the beginning. This thumb muscle, groomers, we use this muscle constantly. Another part of the fingers that the hand that hurt is that ring finger. It just really presses up against there. After doing a long day, believe me, there's not a groomer alive that doesn't have a big callus right here on their ring finger, because there's just so much pressure on that when scissoring. Okay, so yeah, okay, so we're gonna introduce here then. I have a big wad of hair. This is dog hair. Again, we realize you probably don't have a big wad of dog hair at home, but we do, because we're dog groomers. If you don't have this, you can use a cotton ball. But what we did was we kind of rolled this up, and we got it to stick together. And I'm going to use my round shears on this. And I want you to kind of just envision that this is like your dog's head, the top of your dog's head. And just kind of clip around it. We're going to scissor right around it and just get snips and really feel what it feels like to cut through hair, you see. And just try to get it as round as you could. If you're using a cotton ball, just hold it. Watch your fingers, of course. And we're just going to kind of snip around and actually cut the hair. So it's good to practice on something that you can't hurt right now. So I highly suggest that you do some of these techniques and you practice at home before you take it to your dog. If you are going to make a mistake, it's best to make a mistake on this, right? And not your dog's ear or head. But it's just another thing you can do. Just grab a cotton ball, or if you have some dog hair that you can possibly use, just cut it and practice just like that. Because what this is going to do is it's going to create the tension that it actually there actually is in your hand when actually scissoring. It's one thing to scissor around a can, but if you're actually cutting hair, it's going to create that tension, and you're really going to feel this in your thumb. Okay, just like that. Okay, all right, so that's done. So last but not least, we're going to use this little guy here. So if you have a stuffed animal, this also could come into play here because, you know, again, this is what your dog is shaped like. You just kind of run your scissors up and down just like this, just to practice again. You know, you can even come around the foot area here. If you have the dog facing you, and I can't really get this shot too much, but you know, you can kind of go like this and just get some angulation. You could practice on top of the head like this and just practice that round motion that we talk about a lot in our videos. And again, noticing my hand, see how my hand is moving, not so much the scissors, but my hand. You know, we're almost half mooning the hand, you know, creating that motion of a half moon. You know, we can use thinning shears under the eyes. We would have this approach here, like that. But again, if you are not 100% confident, guys, you know, don't take scissors under the eyes. You'll see in our videos, we usually use clippers because I get very nervous with scissors around the eyes. I prefer the clippers. I believe they're a lot more safe than the scissors. You can even use a stuffed animal to, you know, to do the ear trimming. You can grab the ear, and as you see in our videos, we always mention, notice where the ear flap is, that skin. Every dog is different, so you have to feel for it and don't cut beyond that. But if you have a stuffed animal that you can use, just practice. Again, guys, this is all practice trimming an ear. So yeah, I know that it's all makeshift and it seems a lot easier than it really is. It's really not this easy. Guys, it actually is a lot more difficult when you're working on a live animal, but unfortunately right now we can't. But again, I think if you just get your scissors in your hands, it's gonna make it a little bit easier for you. You will get practiced at it, and believe it or not, you know, we might make a dog groomer out of you after all. One thing I want to mention though, as far as being safe, guys, is do yourself a favor and please don't ever, I see a lot of people doing this where they'll pull the hair and snip. Don't pull the hair and snip, because what you're doing is when you pull the hair, you're pulling your dog's skin as well. You're pulling the skin, so you never know if you're cutting skin or fur. So don't pull and then attempt to cut. It's very, very dangerous. I've seen people gash their dogs open. Especially don't do this with cats. You will, whenever you pull on a cat, a good portion of their skin gets pulled up, and I've seen so many horror stories, guys, of people just pulling their cat's fur and attempting to cut a mat, and you are definitely heading towards the vet after that, because you're going to gash the cat open. So don't ever pull the fur and attempt to snip. Okay, what you want to do is use a comb. You can fluff up the fur, and then you scissor, and you just scissor like we're showing you, just to stay safe, guys. The last thing I want to see is you guys cutting your dogs open at a time like this. It's the last thing we need. So guys, with that being said, again, just get some scissors in your hands, practice. You know, you can practice on a stuffed animal, or practice maybe trimming around the butt area or something like that. These areas are real dirty right now and getting all gunked up, and because we can't groom, they're just not going to get any better. And we want to thank you guys for checking us out always. Again, jump on YouTube, check out some other channels. As we mentioned, go to Go Groomer. She's got a lot of great videos too. And we thank you all for checking us out, and stay safe. And we're looking forward to our next video, guys. Thank you so much.